All right, welcome back this week, ladies and gents. And there is trouble brewing already, even as we get into the start of the week here. So we've talked before about ESG and these mandates that have been put out by the WEF. If you haven't seen any of these videos before, you can find them on my channel, but I'll just very briefly touch upon it on the shared screen for a moment, just to either remind you or to give context to people that don't know about ESG and the sort of devastating effect that it is having at the moment. And if, like me, you don't like ESG or the mandates around it, then there are some good news this week, especially if you are an investor, because lawmakers in the USA are actually now fighting back against the World Economic Forum's ESG mandates, which stands for environmental, social, and governance. Now, that probably sounds like a good thing. You might think, Neil, why would you be against environmental, helping the environment, social, helping social justice causes, and governance? Well, wait, what is governance? Well, it's basically control. It's telling companies how they can do business, where they can do business, who they can trade with, who they have to give special discounts to, and all sorts of other crazy things. But the governance is basically a complete form of control over not just companies, but also different governments now. And if you want to see who has a perfect ESG score, that is Sri Lanka. So under the WEF, Sri Lanka actually has an almost perfect score at 98.1. But wait, you may say, Neil, didn't you make a video about Sri Lanka just 5 months ago and how they would, have this? Well, in fact, I made a video a long time before this on Sri Lanka, but 5 months ago was when it collapsed and the whole palace was overrun and they became a failed state. So how did I know that was going to happen? And let's link this back to the WEF and I'll show you how I knew. This is the website as usual. Everything in terms of these big problems stems from the same place. So how can we measure how good companies are? So Sri Lanka was the test case for ESG, which started a long way back actually. And they wanted them to stop using fertilizers that were made from what they call fossil fuels, natural gas and things like this. They wanted Sri Lanka to stop that and do it all naturally. And of course, we all knew what was going to happen. If you remove all of the fertilizers, which are responsible for much higher yields, then you're going to have a problem with food output. And that's exactly what happened. And as a result, Sri Lanka had to then import all of the things that they needed. Including food. They had to import loads of other things, but a lot of it was food. So of course this started draining their currency reserves, and all sorts of other problems happened as a result. So I think we can say that the lead country on ESG that was praised as this glowing vision of how it all works was a failed experiment, because it completely collapsed the country. So now let's look at what this is then. So again, environmental, social, and governance. And the whole premise of this is that investors and governments around the world will only make ESG-based investments, or as they say here, companies that claim good ESG performance. So this is where they actually look at what's most important. So it's climate, gender pay gap, diversity, equity, inclusion. Okay, so you might look at that and say, well, that sounds good, Neil, isn't it? Surely that's a good thing to shrink the gender pay gap and the diversity pay gap. Sure, I'm definitely not arguing against that. And I would say, yes, of course these are good things. We always want to be diverse and fair in everything we do. I think that's something we can all agree on. But that's not the problem. The problem is pushing that at the expense of efficiency and profitability, and we live in a capitalistic society where these things are what drives the economy. Now, I'm not going to get into all of that today because there's a lot more to it, and it is a lot more complex than that. But let me just show you this then. So the question was, will ESG disclosures be mandatory? And the answer was, that's right. So they're saying it will be a mandatory requirement to report under this directive. And again, you've got to keep asking, well, they're not a government, it's a private organization. So how do they get all the governments around the world to follow this mandate? Well, the answer is a lot of the in fact, the world leaders are part of the WEF. That's how. So they're saying the first draft that this reporting should be implemented in 2023. So that's how long you've got before this becomes mandatory. However, there's a lot of pushback, and we'll come on to that. But here is BlackRock, largest company in the world. We all know about BlackRock and the dark side of BlackRock. So they are the partner to the WEF, who also are the biggest investment fund in the world and are pushing ESG. So you see, they are all connected. Here's Larry Fink, he's CEO of BlackRock, and he is also a WEF member. And he's always said that he's going to work hard to force people to change behaviors in order to meet the ESG stuff. But the problem is there's a lot of dark and sinister things associated with ESG. What a lot of people are now calling, you know, the financial side of wokeism, because they're able to influence a lot of things that you wouldn't normally have happen naturally in a society. So a proportion of the money that's going into investments is allocated towards ESG, so social things, so social justice. Do you think it's just a surprise that we've seen a lot of events taking place all the time now? Where did the funding come from? Who funded these things? Well, the funding is coming from let's say, they're not even politicians, they are world leaders who consider that these things are important. But then you ask, well, who says that? Well, it's dictated by the WEF and other organizations. And these are what's known as technocrats. So they're not bureaucrats, they're technocrats. But one example I can give you of the craziness of this is that look at Sri Lanka, look at their almost perfect score, because they put out less carbon and they did all this other stuff. Well, it's the same with a lot of companies. If you look at the companies, they've got the highest ESG score. It's not that they're necessarily putting out less carbon, because they're doing this carbon offsetting, which is a complete scam, paying money to offset carbon elsewhere, which often doesn't even get offset. Is just a way to get a tick in the box and to get a higher ESG score, which then attracts more investment. The other problem is somewhat an infiltration-based problem, in that a lot of these people who are, their whole career has been pushed towards ESG and maintaining it and implementing it. And now you have some of these people who actually sit in senior positions in the White House, for example. They sit, not just the White House though, it's Canada and the UK and Australia and the European Union. It's a lot of countries that are in this same boat, and they are put there to push this agenda. Now, just last week, Vanguard was the first big company that caved into pressure, and they actually left this organization, which is the Net Zero Asset Managers Initiative. So they have $66 trillion of assets under management. That's what AUM stands for. That is mind-boggling. But if you think that's a lot, then let's come back to my least favorite organization, GFANZ, the Glasgow Financial Alliance for Net Zero. And what is their commitment? What is their entire organization made up for? That is the decarbonization of the economy. Now, you remember that video I made on this in massive detail, and I showed you how crazy this was and how worrying or concerning their goals really are, because they have no regard for human life, in my opinion, when they're doing this. And you can see that from the interviews where they've said, well, many people will die as a result of this. Yes, there will be starvation, there will be famine, there will be problems with energy where people won't be able to heat their homes. So they actually admit to all of these things which they are bringing about, but they say that it's a short-term pain now, i.e. hundreds of millions of people could die from this. It's a short-term pain now in order to save the planet in 30 years time. So I would love to know in the comments below what you think about that. And if you saw my documentary piece on that, what did you think about that? So this is where the pushback has now started. So this just came out on December 8th from Arizona State Treasurer Kimberly Yee. So let's have a look what she had to say here then. At the beginning of this year, I led in the national divestment, i.e. funds going out, effort to remove any exposure we had with BlackRock. In February 2022, my office divested more than $543 million from BlackRock money market funds and reduced our direct exposure to BlackRock by 97% this year. She then ended with this line here: we will continue to fight back against the dangerous path of companies pushing their social issues and wokeism inside of the investment space and return to traditional money management that puts the people first. We then had this article that came out just yesterday. So they're calling it right-wing politicians are pushing back against ESG policies. So last week, Vanguard, an investment advisor with more than $7 trillion in global assets, announced that it was reversing course and abandoning its commitment to the Net Zero Asset Managers initiative that it joined in 2021. So that was this one here. And since then, more have followed. Florida as well is pulling $2 billion from BlackRock. Now, what concerns me and should concern many of you is that where do you think the states have got this money from? This is not the state's money, this is pension money, i.e. this could be your pension. And it doesn't matter which country you're in, there's a high chance that your pension money is being invested into these ESG investments as well, which I'll show you in a moment, do not return. In a statement, Florida CFO said the state's treasury, which he oversees, would remove BlackRock as manager of about $600 million of short-term investments and have its custodian freeze $1.43 billion of long-term securities. So they're going to reallocate this money to other money managers by the start of 2023. Petronas accused BlackRock of focusing on ESG rather than higher returns for investors. Florida's Treasury Division is divesting from BlackRock because they've openly stated that they've got other goals than producing returns. And yet, Reuters here are claiming that US Democratic officials have argued that BlackRock does not press ESG concerns enough. So far, only Republican-controlled states have made major reallocations away from BlackRock. Earlier this week, Republican attorney generals from various states asked a federal regulator to limit Vanguard Group's activities over ESG concerns. And I think that explains then why Vanguard have now done this U-turn, because of this request to the federal regulator. So let's look at this as we conclude then as to just how effective these ESG investments are. For those of you who do think they're very effective and you love investing in these things because you think they are the future, if you've done my stock market course, you'll know I have the complete opposite belief. I don't believe they are the future, and I believe people are going to lose money on these things. Well, let's see how these investments have fared. Well, not that well, it seems, according to this article, and the research on this is pretty good. To begin with, ESG funds certainly perform poorly in financial terms. In a recent Journal of Finance paper, University of Chicago researchers analyzed the Morningstar sustainability ratings of more than 20,000 mutual funds representing over $8 trillion of investor savings. Now, just a reminder as well from the course here I'm talking about, index funds and mutual funds are very different things. Most people assume they are the same, but they are not. Make sure that you know whether you're invested into an index or a mutual fund. You'll know pretty much straight away anyway by the fees. With an index fund, you're going to pay almost nothing. With a mutual fund, you're going to have a lot more management and pay much higher fees. I much prefer index funds over mutual funds. So a little tip there, if you haven't taken my stock market course, to actually check that with your fund manager. Although the highest rated funds in terms of sustainability certainly attract more capital than the lowest rated funds, none of the high sustainability funds outperformed any of the lowest rated funds. That result might be expected, and it is possible that investors would be happy to sacrifice financial returns in exchange for better ESG performance. Unfortunately, ESG funds don't seem to deliver better ESG performance either. So this is what these researchers found at both Columbia University and the London School of Economics, LSE. So they compared all of these different funds, 147 ESG portfolios and 2,428 non-ESG portfolios. So you've actually got a much bigger range in the non-ESG. And they found that the companies in the ESG portfolios had worse compliance. So not only are they saying that they're doing all these things, they're actually doing a worse job of doing it for labor and environmental rules. They also found that they did not subsequently improve compliance with labor or environmental regulations. But this is not an isolated finding. A recent European Corporate Governance Institution paper compared the ESG scores of companies invested in the US, so 684, and 6,481 institutional investors that did not sign up to the PRI during 2013 to 2017. So what did they find? Well, the financial returns were lower and the risk higher for the PRI signatories. So these are the people that went into the ESG investments. They got lower returns with higher risk. Now, look, let me just say one other thing. I am not against the values that ESG is all about. That's not the problem. That's not what I'm against. What I'm against is that you have huge amounts of funding that are being pushed into ESG under false pretenses, and that it's a control measure. That's what I don't like. And the fact that it only funds one political side. It doesn't fund the other side almost ever. So that's the other problem I have, and that if you, as a company or whatever else, you're giving donations to one side, you get a higher score, and that boosts you and allows you to get cheaper finance and more You see, it's obvious where this is going. It's a control metric to bring about exactly what they've been talking about bringing about for a long time now. Does that mean I don't like the Democrats or I think they're bad? No. I think most people are good people, and I've said that a lot of times. But what you're seeing is these extremes coming in, and they're the ones getting all the media attention. So you're seeing these very extreme people on the left having control of a lot of this ESG and the finance that accompanies it. And because of that, when you have the political control and you have the financial control, you pretty much have the control and you can write the laws however you want. And this is the concern. So overall, I do think that a fight back has started against ESG. And just by putting that little bit of pressure on, we've already seen Vanguard cave in. Now let's see if BlackRock does. I think that'll be a big ask because they are part of the organization that created it in the first place, and they have a large financial incentive. But if enough states and companies were to pull their money from BlackRock and their investments, it would probably sway them over the edge. So we'll continue to monitor this. We'll see how it goes. But apart from that, thanks for watching today. Take care. God bless. I'll see you tomorrow. All right. Welcome back this week, ladies and gents. And apart from that, thanks for watching today. Take care. God bless. I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay, looks like everything's on. Mike. Good morning, YouTube family. Looks like there's a good handful of you in here. TikTok just fired up, but as usual, it's just dragging its feet, doing all sorts of stuff. I got two people inside of the... two people got the clap. Welcome, two people with the clap. State your names so I can say hi to you. TikTok people, you know the deal. Check in, start banging that screen. YouTube people, 3 times. I need you 3 times. Let's see. Cool Colt. Like 2, maybe even 3 days in a row. Good morning. First. Looks like old Doug Frost almost made it. Good morning. I haven't seen you in a while. Viking Queen, Catitude. Star from Toronto. Janice. Connie Mensch, who will be omnipresent if I know her. Bob. Bob, good seeing you, bro. And, of course, Barb. Let's see here. What do we got here? Who's checking in there on the old TikToks? We got April Sister. Good morning. Sam Be Ready's here. Nice. Good to see you. What the frickin'? Pazzer the Rocker. Good morning to you guys. West Virginia Pappy. Good morning over there on the Clapper. That seems to be his new thing over there. Still trying to figure out how I'm going to keep Clapper in the rotation, but I'm going to figure something else. I'm going to figure something else out on the TikTok side. I think it's, 14 days, 16 days, something like that, and then it's all over. So you better get on the YouTube stuff. Where were Yoler Trick Choke? Good morning, Willow. Good morning, Charles. Good morning, Steven. Good morning. What do we got going on here? Something's happening on the Clapper. I couldn't tell, but it was something. Ching! Something happened. Doggaball showed up. Debbie showed up. West Virginia Pappy is omnipresent. I like it. Good to see you all. Let's see. As the screen says, it is. It's obviously for Open Forum Friday. And if you can see the screen, you know also what it is. Admin note to get started. The 7:30 live Discord for Patreons is still a go. Let's see here. As mentioned 2 days ago, I have added a tier to the Patreon for those people that just want to support the channel but don't really care about all the other stuff. I've made a $1 Patreon. It previously was not possible in the past, but Patreon has adjusted that. I guess they're feeling the crunch as well. Yeah, go ahead and check out the link in the bio, the description, support the channel, all that other stuff if you are not currently a Patreon. Now, to my current Patreons, which are mostly on the YouTube side, nothing has changed for you guys. Not a thing will change. You'll get exactly what you're supposed to be getting for the $3. And for the $1 Patreons, you just got to get access to a little bit of stuff. So it's worth researching. I think the juice is worth the squeeze on the $3. But if you just want to support the channel, there's the $1 option. Willow Bean, love your enthusiasm this morning. Thank you very much. I attribute that to a good night's sleep and the use of my Alpha Brain, which I'm not an affiliate, but this stuff really does get you focused. Without the jitters. Let's see. I hear they were banning TikTok within 6 states. I believe they're up to 5 now. I don't know about 6. I mean, the number's not important, but and it's for government devices only right now. I think this is a good starting point for a subject, but it won't last long. But so you need to be typing stuff about prepperdom and prepper thingies and whatever down in the chat, so that I have a list of things to speak and be enthusiastic about. Yeah, it's either 5, it might be 6 states, but it's for government machines, government devices, and I mean they can just it's literally like. Some admin goes, okay, you can no longer go to that domain. Boop, you're done. You know, so, and if you get caught doing it on a government phone or a state phone, then yeah. Also, there was a bill. First, there was a bill that was introduced. I did a TikTok video on it. It was kind of funny. Talking about no TikTok on government devices. And then the next day, another bill was presented for banning TikTok in the United States 100%. So we'll see where it goes. I mean, your daily dose of opium, or not opium. Why do I always say opiums? Excuse me. Your daily dose of, what's the word I'm looking for? Because I need to write that on my board. Is going to, it could be gone, could be going away. So let's see here. I don't know why you would say your own name. Oh, so I knew what it is? Okay. America needs a superhero. Here, buy my NFTs. Thank you, Sam. Dopamine. Justin, thank you. Let's see here. Dopamine, West Virginia, Pappy. You guys are on the ball and paying attention. I like that. Let's see. But yeah, you're gonna have to learn to swipe someplace, or just, if you're. I wonder if it'll be a national emergency. People will be like jumping. It'll be like people jumping off buildings and stuff because they turned TikTok off. I think a country already did it and nobody died. So let's see. As for I don't know you. Decline. Jeff, no thanks. Good morning. Good to hear from you again. Hey, what's up, Scott? Scott Killaman. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Sarah Lou 2.0. If you just made it, you should change your name to Sarah Lou 2. Ooh. Or does that mean that you lost one account? Sarah 2.0. I know what that means. Let's see here. We got Marsh Monster. Good morning. We got here. Star, my dog did some took to vet. They said looks like it will heal, but looks funny. I got you. My dog broke his nail, and it's sad. Yes, I mean, it is. It is. What do we got here? Tanker showed up. Hey, I haven't seen you bro. You've been busy. Let's see. Marsh Monster. I am super duper today. I think I'm as good as I can expect it to be. Who knows how long this energy will last, but I'm going to keep pumping it out as long as I can. Retro Hollywood, good morning to you. Richard Jackson, when this guy gets a chance, unlike and like again to keep... Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Richard. As a reminder, my YouTube channel, it's like, unlike, like. Break the algorithm today. We got Poppy Jams, good morning. All right, see, Scott's got a question. What do you think about stocking up on propane for a generator in case... I think it's a great idea, Scott. The nice thing about propane, I want to get a propane generator. I'm boom, boop, 100% buy-in on it. It's like 1 is none, 2 is 1. It's like, why don't you have this and why don't you have that? Well, I mean, I got some solar stuff. I mean, I'd love to have the big solar stuff. You know what? I'm gonna do a video for Pecker. I'm gonna do a video. Hey guys, all right. So I'm gonna hold on. Let me make a poll. I'm gonna make a poll in my YouTube. Okay, start a poll. Should I make a video to all my affiliates, if I'm gonna probably misspell that, all my affiliates, not affiliates, affiliates about supporting the channel. And when I say that, all right guys, I'm gonna, this thing does not spell affiliates and neither do I. I think there's an E in there. Let's try that. Oh, it's spelled right. And yes or no, opinion. Boom. All right. So TikTok, obviously, you will get. I know. Thank you, Guy. Gaja's lady. Gaja's lady. There's got to be a cooler way to say that. Gaja's lady. Oh, I get it. It's gorgeous lady. I like that. Your picture's too small. I can't see. You got a dual fuel. I wish I wanted for the tri-fuel. Wish I waited for the tri-fuel. Gotcha. All right, so the question is, where are we at here? I thought I made the poll. Did I make the poll? Ask your community. I didn't ask. No, I must have pushed the wrong button. There we go. Ask the community. So here's the thing. I have a lot of affiliateships, products that I actually support. I do make money off of it. I'm far from big YouTube money, and I'm just trying to basically I'm just trying to keep the doors open at this point, But I've got some affiliates that love to say, woohoo, promote our products, yay! And then they disappear. They promise things, and then they don't deliver. And what, it's like, so there's some things, for instance, do you guys remember the video I did on this puppy right here? This puppy right here? It's not a bad little device, but here's what I decided to do. Oh, here's what I decided to do. I'm going to... Ooh, that doesn't belong in there. Let's see. Where are we at here? Those are the instructions. I decided that I am going to put something else in there, I think. And I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna put it back in the box. Okay, I'm gonna put it back in the box, and I'm gonna give this away to somebody. Seriously, not because I don't like it, because, yeah, I think somebody else should have it. I'm gonna give this to somebody else. I'm gonna come up with a way, maybe a donation raffle or something. I'm gonna give something away. But here's the thing: I'm only gonna give it away on my YouTube channel. Oh no! They won't. Hey, won't, or they shutting down the platform. I don't know what you're asking about. You'll be on the TikTok having January 1st. They're saying this is the end of... They live say this is the end. Okay, somebody must ask about 14 days. In 14 days, I will no longer be doing live streams on TikTok. I still maintain my TikTok account. I'll still do videos from time to time saying, why are you wasting your time here? Go over to my YouTube channel, because that's where the shit's going to be going on. Yes, Viking Queen, that is from High Desert Training. It's a solid product. I recommend people buy it. Now, but there's two things, okay? One, and I've talked to the company about it, but apparently they're not listening. I believe the man's name is Andrew. He makes all the videos. I don't know if he owns the company. I don't know. And I don't want to, I don't want to give him a throat punch, but I definitely want to give him a poke in the eye and say, okay, so it took me a long time to do a true review of the product. That no one else is doing. They were sending. What they do is they send these products out to all the people that they think can reach an audience to sell it. Right? It's business. Let's be adults. That's what it is. Okay. And then it's like you don't want to do like a bad review because then people might not buy it. There's no affiliate program. I'm not linked to this company in any way, shape, or form. I think it's a great product. Buy it, put it in your car. But let me give you a little bit of advice. First of all, don't buy it on Amazon. There's a company out there that is buying these things from them and then charging you about $20 more. I think on Amazon, they want like $90 for this thing. If you go to the website, buy it on their website. And what is it? It's High Desert HDTS, High Desert Training. I don't know if it's System Solution Services. I can't remember. Anywho, go there and buy it. If you really want one, it's only like $60-something. If you added up all the things that it does, easily worth the $60. Let's see. So I sent the guy an email because he made a TikTok video talking about being certified online. It was like certified training online for opioid overdose. What's the drug that you use to bring the opioid overdose guys back with? There's about a ton of nurses and doctors in here and lawyers, so somebody put it in the chat and we'll find out what it is. But to be certified, right? So I'm like, dude, that is awesome. I would love to do that. I've never Narcon. Thank you very much, Sam. Be ready. And so I was like, okay, hey, listen, how about hooking me up with the class? And I would love to take it. There's nothing on the website. There's no reply from the guy. Maybe I'm barking up the wrong tree. He could be dead on the side of the road for all I know. I don't know. But what I can tell you is that if that was a product, if that was something that I thought was great, because I got this free class because I basically hooked the guy up. Yeah, sure, he gave me something I'm going to give you, but there's no winners here unless we're all winners. All right, so and then I get it. Nothing. 3 days later, no emails. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what the guy's doing. Like I said, he's probably busy. I'm not going to bust his nuts. But it made me think about all these products. When you go to the link in my bio, when you go to my website, when you go to the trusted products, when you go to the Amazon webpage, these are all things that I own or I have tested or I have reviewed or I know to be in the past solid products that you won't be pissing your money away on. Okay. That's kind of like the whole thing behind my reviews. You're rarely going to get a review out of me that's 10 out of 10, that's for sure. This was only a 9 out of 10 because I did find things that could be better. Anyhow, so I'm thinking about all these products that I'm telling people, hey, these are the good products. This is the good stuff. And then I'm like, you know what? Some of these companies just like blow me off. It's like, so I had another company out there that said, hey, we love your videos. Make a video for us. Here's some products. So I make the videos for them. Okay? And by the way, guys, I've made videos for money before, and so I know how much it costs these companies to pay for videos based on the time, like a click, like a 1 minute video. I know what the industry standard is to be paid to make 1 minute videos from the big box companies because I've actually done it. So I'm literally like, don't give me any money, just send me products and I'll make you a video based off the product. And we'll do all the link stuff, and then that'll be it, you know? And in turn, what I do is I get the prepping stuff, and they get the video, and you guys get to know whether the stuff is worth the money or not. So that's normally the way I do the business. But when they say they're going to send you something, and then they don't, and then they send you an email, I got this. This happened to me last week. And then they send you an email saying, hey, what's the status of those videos you said you were going to make? And I go, hey, what's the status of the shit you said you were going to send me? And then I get crickets. Yeah. Doesn't change. It doesn't change the fact that the product is good. It just changes that the decisions that I make about the videos that I'm going to make. So, FYI, that's what it is. I got to figure out a way of giving this away. I'm pretty sure I'll do it, but it's only going to be on YouTube. So if you're not on YouTube, you're screwed. All right, so I think I got enough shit stirred up there. You know, like Deadpool says, I don't take the shits. I just stir them up. Let's see here. Let's see what we got here. To suggest the first thing to do if I'm just starting prepping. Okay, the first thing that you do is you focus on 3 things: water, food, and security. Those are your pillars of all preparedness. I don't care about the 5 C's of survival. I don't care about the 7 whatevers of preparedness. Somebody just made up acronyms up all this shit. You always forget to do shelter. No, I didn't. We live in houses. We're human beings. We're evolved. So, go to the store and buy yourself some water. You could probably about $30, $40 on this current economy. You can probably get 10 days worth of food easily. Go to the store, buy yourself, buy yourself 10 cans of vegetables. Buy yourself 10 cans of canned meat. They come in different flavors, believe it or not. And then buy yourself 10 portions or 10 servings of dried food. Beans, rice, mashed potatoes, those dried things, pastas, things like that. Then you will have 10 days worth of food. Make sure that you get yourself 10 days worth of water somehow, some way, whatever it be. Where that's kind of like going up to the next level stuff. And then find a way to protect yourself. If you are in a state where you cannot procure a pew-pew, or even if you don't have the money, the youth metal baseball bats are extremely easy to swing, especially for people with lower levels of upper body strength. And they're easy to maneuver or handle inside of closed quarters. So those are the very first things that I would tell people. Intel, damn autocorrect. What did you do, Intel? I didn't see it, man. Let's see. Exactly. I live way out and no neighbors, so it works for me. Food, water, meds, 6 months stores. Yeah, see, everybody's got advice, and none of it's wrong. But you have to get down to the core level of preparedness when you're starting. You need to know the calories of it. You know what? I have never, unless I was trying to lose weight, I have never sat down and said, I need to have this many calories today or I will die. Never once. Been prepping since 2008. Never once counted a calorie. Never once said my caloric intake for today will be for excessive use of work and activity for a man under the age of 18 will be 3,200 calories. Never once ever did that. How many people can I feed with a can of corn? Roughly 2. Let's see here. How many people can I feed with a can of meat? Depends on what you do with it. Roughly 2. You know, you get into the pasta realm. That's a different story, man. You know, it's crazy. It's crazy. So keep it simple. Water, food, security. You cannot go wrong. After that, everything's icing on the cake. Let's see here. What do we got? Nobody's talking on the TikTok side. There's 41 people in there. We got 41 people. We should have like 3,000 like guys. Start following that finger. Start doing all that magical stuff there. What do we got here on the YouTube side? When you get a chance, like, unlike. Okay. Star, in 5 minutes, China could convince them on TikTok to turn against the home country. Yeah, but you know, that's bullshit. Because the second TikTok, China went, oh, TikTok, you Americans, your country is bad. You know, they could do it with a dancing girl and letters. And to believe that Americans would be like, whoa, yes, China, yes, we will do that. No, they'd be like, whoa, game's over, uninstall app. Let's see here. And that was never the plan. The plan is just to run it and collect all your shit. If you got a few minutes in your life where you're doing absolutely nothing, do something like read the terms of service, okay? Of what you said. Okay, I agree on this app that I'm pointing to right now. I agree. Check that out. See what you've given them access to. And you're like, oh, my phone. No, you gave them more access than just that damn phone. You know, October Skies is telling me, stop the fear-mongering. Change your screen. Have a great day. Hopefully you learn something. Nobody's fear-mongering about anything. And have a great day. Let's see here. Wow, your Marine Corps voice came out pretty good there. Yeah, Doug, I call it my man voice. It's nothing personal. But yeah, sometimes it comes out. Sometimes you can hear the crack of the DI in there, and I'm just like, I got to take a step back. I got to cool down just a little bit because I can get fired up, and I could be talking about how great this pen is, and the next thing you know, it comes right out, and nobody knows what the hell's going on, but they're like, what the hell is that noise? And I got to like, take it down a notch. It was just a pen. Let's see here. And Organized Pineapple, thank you very much for posting that link. Appreciate it. Got one of my mods, modding things. Beecher77, I don't recognize your name. Welcome to the channel. If I'm supposed to know who you are, I apologize because I don't. Let's see. He or she says, no, you screwed your name up. It's supposed to be Breacher, isn't it? B-Share? I don't know. Filled my plow truck with gas and refilled gas cans and filled my 1-pound propane tanks yesterday before prices go higher. So is that, I wonder if that's the 21st thing. So the, well, obviously, what is it? Title 42 is supposed to expire on the 21st, and all hell is supposed to break loose. The end of the world's going to happen. You know, the illegal aliens, that's what they're called by law. They are going to come squirming across, you know, the border and kill everybody. And I think we might be blowing this out of proportion because it's already so bad. We've been numbed to the fact that it's happening. But there was something else that was happening on the 21st. And as far as prices going high, I don't know. Changed my name. That's what'd you change your name for, man? Intel says I'm fully prepped, so I ain't afraid of nothing on earth. Good for you. Good for you. Watch the skies. Filmmonger, no, you be the first one at the stores hoarding food. Yeah, John, that's unfortunately it's true. Fortunately it's true. You know, I mean, I go to Walmart probably twice a week. I like buying stuff, you know, but I mean, I'm literally just topping off as I eat the other stuff that I've, you know, there's a rotation. There's a common sense rotation here that most people that are not preppers don't have. So yeah, good comment, bro. Let's see here. Catitude redacted her message. Let's see. Wooden bat by my bed and my Molinos. Are Molinos those cookies? I don't know what a Molino is. What do we got here? Okay, so I'm going to go back to the propane thing because I want to talk about that briefly, but we need more to talk about. There's something Roger Catitude just put something in the channel. I'm going to read that in a second. So propane can be stored indefinitely. So having a propane generator is just smart. Or, you know, the dual fuel stuff is fine too. But I honestly believe that, how do I say this? The ability to run more than one fuel through your generator is fine because it's designed with a those capabilities in mind, okay? But when you have a generator that's designed to run specifically on a certain type of fuel, and it's been modified even by the company to be able to run multiple fuels, it will never be optimum. So basically, you're not going to get as many hours out of propane, and you're not going to get as many hours out of gasoline or diesel from a multi-fuel generator, because it's built for this wide spectrum of fuels, right? Than you will that for a generator that is specifically designed to run a specific type of fuel that the process has been refined so that it can get maximum hours of runtime out of that particular fuel. So I'm kind of focused totally on the propane right now until I can get Patreon to send me one of those giant brick solar generators, which I would really love to watch. Patreon, if you're paying attention, you're going to be in my video Patreon. So if you can store the fuel indefinitely, and you can still go buy like a full 20-pound can of propane, and that's your primary energy source or fuel source for your propane generator that can run like a long damn time on that 20-pound can, and you can store that indefinitely, then man, that's just go to Walmart, once a month or twice a month, and buy one of these cans that's already full of propane. It just rotate it out, rotate it out with your gas grill, and every time you burn through your gas grill, you just rotate, and once you get enough of them, so it's pretty smart if you think about it. And then if you can alternate that or apply that 1 is none, 2 is 1 rule with a solar generator system of whatever type, you know what I'm saying? Then you're in like Flint. Okay, so we're good on that. And where's that Catitude? What's a good portable heat source for in the house, just in case electric goes out here? I don't have a fireplace. What is a good portable heat source just in case electric goes? Okay, so no electricity. I hate to say it, but the old school kerosene heaters are always the best. Now, you are going to run into some problems with the kerosene heaters. And the reason you're going to run into problems with them is because they do produce a little bit of soot. Then you're going to end up with you can walk into some of the real old houses in North Carolina that used blankets on their doorways and kerosene heaters in the rooms, and you're going to have a ring in the roof, or I'm sorry, in your ceiling, from where the kerosene heater was sooting off just a little bit. There's always just a little bit of soot. That is, in my opinion, the best, because you can fill these things up and they will run for days. The large ones, you can fill them up and they will run for days. They don't eat the oxygen out of the air the way a propane heater or like a buddy heater will. So you're not going to have that problem. And they, they don't require a power source in any way, shape, or form. And the fuel has gotten a little expensive. But I mean, unless you're buying like 100 gallons of it, it's not going to be. I think like 94. No, it was 172 gallons when we did the grandma's house. She refilled her kerosene tank up, and it was 174 gallons. And it was like $400. So in a pinch, that's the go-to. But you just got to be careful with the propanes, because, well, the portable propane heaters do two things. One, they eat the oxygen out of the air. So if you're using them in an enclosed space, you have to vent the hell out of them, okay? The second thing is propane burning creates moisture in the air. So you could have a problem inside of your house after running one of these things for a period of time, in an enclosed space for a period of time. Moisture. For instance, if you've ever used a propane heater inside of a vehicle, it will create a lot of moisture inside of the vehicle. So just, yeah. Let's see here. Tractor Supply sells large propane canisters. Oh, I like that. But I do like those little ones, guys. I really do, and here's why. Here's why. Because when you spend the money to buy one of those 20-pound cans for propane, you're going to probably, they used to be around $55, but they came full, okay? And then if you get one refilled, it's only like $20. It's only like 20. You go to Walmart, you go to what is it, the Blue Rhino or something like that. You say, I need to swap this one out for one that's full. It's like $20-something. You know what I'm saying? So the can is the expensive part, right? And so if you have a whole buttload of these things, let's say you have 10 of them, right? So 10 of them at what, $50? What is that? $500. Okay, so $500 and 5 times 2, that's 10. So that's 100 pounds of propane. Okay, if my math is wrong, somebody tell me that. I think I did that off the top of my head. So now you have 100 pounds of propane. You got a $500 investment. And when you need to use propane for your grill, you grab one of those cans and you use it, and you'll use it all summer. And at the end of the summer, you'll go and you'll say, I need a new one. And you'll take that empty one and you'll go there and they'll give you another one and you can rotate it into your stock. You see what I'm saying? So let that think in there. This should be a temporary. Remember these propane heaters? This should be a temporary situation. This should not be this long-term thing. Now, let's say you're in Texas, you lose your power for an entire week. The world is going to hell in a handbasket, and you've got 100 pounds of propane, and you burn them up all during the week. So when you go to Walmart, you're going to spend, let's say, $20, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. You're going to spend $100 to replenish all your propane. Or if you're on a limited budget, you can do it once a month and replace one can 1 month or per 1 month. You see what I'm saying? If you buy the large ones, you got to get the company to come out there and run their truck with a giant dong hose and fill. You know, they're going to repressurize this giant tank of yours, and they're going to charge you through the nose, and you're going to get all the taxes, and you're going to get the fees for moving the truck. You know what I'm saying? So I like the little ones. Now, you do what you're going to do. I know people that have like 500 pound tanks in their yards. They're completely happy. I know people that have multiple 1,000 pound tanks in their yard. They're like super preppers. And that's great. If you got the money for that, you party on. But in today's economy, there's very few people that are like that. So, all right, let's see here. What's good over here? Belgian Milanos is a dog used in my army police. Oh, I got you. Well, you should have said Belgian Milano. I'd have probably picked that up. I'm still thinking about the chocolate cookies. My heater buddy heats propane. Blue Rhinos are only 15 pounds. Okay. I thought they were 20. There you go. All right. What else are we going to talk about? We're about halfway through this. You guys need to see this video, and I'm going to push this button. And while that's happening, I want to see some ideas in the chat. So get on it.
Sell everything and run. There will be blood in the streets for the next few years. Yep, it's going to be bloody all over the place. It's a gigantic dumpster fire. And it's not really what the Fed is doing. It's not really what this guy's doing, even though these are terrible stories, right? Look, ready's for that. I don't like saying those dirty words on the tubes. They get me in trouble. And also, I'll go over the rate hike. I'll also go over how stupid the Fed is, and I'll explain it, because you're not going to get what I am going to show you in the regular media. I will break it down for you in this video, and then I will explain the stock market and how all this ties in and what's going to happen. Hey, look at that. Look at this. You guys say doom and gloom. Look at this. Paris prepares for civil conflict, right? 5,000 of those guys that carry those things. This is bad stuff. I mean, Putin is over there, 70-year-old Putin sitting there. And he's like, what should I do? Should I push the button? Yeah, let's end this life on a high note. I mean, you don't even need to go to those prepper channels. I could just summarize it in under 30 seconds. Make sure you have a bunker. But hey, you guys, remember Ron? Yeah, well, he has some tough words for you. And I really like Ron Paul. He's just like that grandpa. Would you say grandpa? The nice one, not like the creepy one. Nouriel Rubini. And so this is on Ron Paul's side, former advisor to the IMF, International Monetary Fund, president of Clinton's council, economic advisors, Main Street. Like, this guy knows what he's talking about. And Robini blames what? The creation of a debt-based economy at or near zero interest rates, which I will go over. Money is debt. Well, in the system that has been created for you and I know. Gold, silver, Bitcoin. But 99% of what the system says is money, and what you and I work off of, bonds, or you use your card, that's debt. Bonds, debt. You take out a loan, debt. A house, debt. Car debt. Everything debt. It works until it doesn't, and you're starting to feel the effects of it doesn't, and you're going to see things like this. The crisis will lead to social unrest and violence. Yep. But I'll basically summarize the article for you. The monetary system that you live in, mathematically, it cannot work. I mean, you're already at $250 that you have to pay back in taxes, and that's not $2.50. That would be $250,000, and the Fed has to pay it back. They're like insolvent now. Oh, and what I mean by insolvent, and I know a lot of you guys are like, oh, the Fed could go burr. The Fed doesn't go burr. I mean, if you know anyone who works at the Fed that really understands how this whole system works, the Fed don't go burr. Money is created by a loan. Yes, the Fed has Chuck E. Cheese tokens, and they swap, and it stays within the system. But right now, they have to pay back all of those bonds with interest. They're broke. Look, see line over here? They're broke, and they're going more broker. Also, this sentence up here, this could get really confusing. Liabilities, you know what liabilities are. Capital, you know what that is. Liabilities, earning remittances, right, due to the U.S. Treasury because they got to pay Janet. They also call it deferred assets. They use all these trickery words. Basically, they cut themselves a check, or they cut a check, and they're like, okay, Janet, don't cash this until in the future because we know we're going to make a whole lot of money, just not yet. But in the end, the Fed is wrong. They're always wrong. The entire bond market is telling the Fed's wrong. And I know the Fed's like, oh, we don't care about the inverted yield curve. It's globally, like the euro dollar, which is probably 4 times bigger than our dollar, inverted. This is everyone with all the money is saying, we're going down. We're going deflation, disinflation, hold on to your hats, or just use it as depends. And then retail. Oh my gosh, retail is just going to get destroyed because they're like, oh, let's do what the Fed. I don't even think retail even understands. Well, the Fed's going to pivot, and then I want to go all in. And then I've showed you, because you subscribe to this channel, that after that, that's when the market actually dives. Retail tries to front run, and that's just the stock market. The bond market will tell you what the world is going to do. And probably why Michael Wilson, it says ignore CPI and the FOMC, because Wilson sees a bloodbath ahead in this rerun of 2008. And as the article says, it's probably a good thing that Morgan Stanley's Mike Wilson, who called the latest peak in stocks, check, at the start of the month and at the end of the bear market rally, he had correctly predicted earlier in the fall and now expects, what? A steep drop heading into the first half of 2023. I did mention a car. I'm not talking about, your lease or whatever. I'm talking about, oh, you wanted heated seats? Oh, that's a monthly subscription for that, $18 a month. You too can have heated seats. And how it's going to play out is the 1% is going to own everything. And forever and ever. That's just how it always works. The people like David here says a recession is coming. And he knows, you know what? You make your money, start business, trade equities. That's how the game is played. Pass it on down. Understand what money is, debt. Tell your kids, here you go. But people that don't understand the system are enslaved by the system, and it's like, get out of debt. No. You use that and you create passive income. You use someone else's debt to generate your debt, and you get to do whatever you want in life and turn it into $1 billion. Says a recession is coming. Tech valuations are set to fall further. And the Fed is going to have to get unemployment to 6% to get inflation down. And I say, well, you know what, billionaire David, The bond market is telling you that inflation is coming down, and you should probably get ready for things like delinquencies and bankruptcies and all these things. Like I said at the beginning of the video, blood in the streets. And the rich, top 5%, then squeeze themselves up into the 1% because you listen to how this is all played. U.S. credit card delinquencies to rise next year, TransUnion says. And not just that, the federal deficit is going to widen because this system isn't designed to go this long. So it's all coming down to a gigantic dumpster fire until the people who created it are like, okay, I give up. But they have their next solution, which is, you already know because you've subscribed and maybe you were nice and you liked the video, or maybe YouTube will push this video to one person. But if they don't, that is okay because you are here watching it. So I've made a difference. And now it is your turn to make a difference. So go make those digits go bigger and start businesses and trade equities. And I'll see you tomorrow.
Boom. All right, so for the YouTubers, I actually went out while that video was playing, and I can show you. If you go to Ace loves you. Ace is the helpful place. Ace is why'd they change that name? It used to be for the helpful hardware. You get woke, go broke, Ace. What the hell, man? All right, so you can do a 20-pound steel liquid propane tank exchange for $21.99. 20 pounds. So it is a thing. And it's still only $21.99. Limit 1 per order. It is a thing. It is a thing. It is a thing. My YouTube people, you may have let me down. I just did it. Where's my... Let's see, did anybody actually put anything in the questions? I'm just going to end that Q&A. You guys, maybe you just don't know how to do it. I don't know. Did the Q&A. Nobody has put anything in the chat like what to talk about. So why is it always got to be on me? Why do I always have to figure out what we're going to talk about? I mean, come on, guys. Come on. I'm just going to pour some coffee until somebody else puts something in the chat. Until somebody like, what do we talk about, man? I'm just going to pour me some coffee. And the Fool. There we go. Yes. Yes, that's what we're going to do. Let's go. You're not streaming on YouTube? Yes, I am. Yes, I am. There's 26 concurrent views with 44 total views. Current views are 23. Likes are 18. Which means that YouTube, you guys aren't putting questions in. I know some of you are driving. And, yeah, you're not participating. Get your shit together, you know? You're outside. I'm not outside. I am inside. Can you give me a rundown on what you are preparing for? Sergeant Ratch, my major prep is economic collapse. Economic collapse covers everything with the exception of giant asteroids destroying the Earth, tsunamis 100 feet tall, wiping everybody out that don't live in the Rockies, and alien attack. Pretty much covers everything. Let's see here. Cool coat. The tank was 20 number capacity, but you generally only has about 18 in it. There's some truth to that, but I actually learned a trick. Here's a trick for you guys. You should know this. It's all about... Okay, so here we go. Check this out. Little known secret, unless you live in an RV, you can go get your 20-pound propane tanks refilled at most reputable RV lots where it's like a resort or where people who live in an RV would live, you know, where they would like park and put pop outs, and an RV park. They let you dump your septic there as long as you paid for, and you can actually go to them and say, please refill this propane tank for me. Now, here's the trick. And I learned this when I worked in a pawn shop. Get your propane tanks cold. If your tank is cold, it will hold more because of the ambient pressure that's left over by a temperature change. Propane is naturally cold, like when you refill the tank, or if you use a tank really fast, you get that frost. Well, that's because it's trying to change the temperature. It's science. So if you get your tanks cold, or you get your tank cold before you refill it, it'll hold more. So do that. Do that. What do we got here? You're concerned about the power grids and then being targeted and the ones that were test pilots to see how vulnerable they were. That's... there has been, I did a little research on that the other day, and technically there's been 109 attacks on power, the power infrastructure in the United States this year alone. It's the highest it has ever been. Why it's happening, nobody can put their finger on it. And the reason is because there's no protection other than a fence to keep, animals out and shit like that, There's no protection for these links in the chain that could easily be broken. Basically, the power stations. There's no protection. So they're now starting to put cameras up. They're starting to put a lot of different preventative measures around these key pieces of infrastructure. This goes back to living like frickin', I don't know. No one can put their finger on it. They don't know why it's happening. They can only think the worst. So worrying about it is kind of a waste of time. Just focus on what you can control. If it's wintertime, focus on warming your home. Focus on drinking, focus on eating, focus on protecting you and your own and the things that you have. Water, food, security. Because to worry about all that other stuff is a waste of time for you. Let's see. What happens in a complete economic collapse? What to expect? Wow. I'm going to go back to Stacy, Sergeant Roch. That's a big question. Let's talk about medicine we can make from home with using... I'm going to go without. I'm going to get you put without using Big Pharma. There's about a freaking 1,000 medicines that you can make. One of the things that I focus on is health maintenance. That's why I take the Alpha Brain. It helps me think a little bit clearer. It keeps me focused on tasks. It helps with problem solving. But I also take a lot of other vitamins that I never talked to you guys about. One of my, it's one of when in the private Discord or in the Patreon's Discord. We talk all the time, and people are getting the flu. People are getting this, that. They're getting a little bit of everything to include that thing that we can't talk about. And they're like, I'm doing this, and I always just say, I never push it. I just go vitamin D. And the reason I say that is because that's something we are deficient on. We work indoors. We live indoors. We play indoors. We stay indoors. We rest indoors. We do everything indoors, and we're not out there where we're supposed to be and using the old giant flamethrower in the sky to make our body make that vitamin that we need. So we have to supplement it in some way, shape, or form. Eating foods that are rich in vitamin D is that natural medicine. Insert vitamin D joke here. Oh, that's not even fun. Doomsday, it's about time you showed up. But anyway, that's hilarious because, side story, when somebody does that, I go looking for a meme. I love memes. I love GIFs, right? So I'm looking for... if you type in vitamin D into the GIF generator, that's all you get. That's all you get, and some of it's pretty graphic too. And I'm like, okay, well, I know that 48% of my followership are actually females, so I'm not about to send them that GIF, even though they probably laugh their ass off. I'm just not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. But yeah, vitamin D, and then finding or eating the foods that are high in vitamin D. Our bodies will process out anything extra that we put in. You got these people that take I take like 2,000 milligrams of vitamin C every day. Hey, I've been there, done it, all that stuff. But you know what? When your pee turns yellow, you have too much vitamin C in your body because your body's getting rid of it. You see what I'm saying? So do that. And then as far as remedies or medicines, dude, get yourself a tincture book. Get yourself an old remedies book. I do not ever recommend that one book out there that's like the old ways, 100 years of the old ways. And it's like, okay, great, whatever. And get books that are focused on a specific subject. Do not buy books that talk about 57 subjects over 200 pages, and because they're just shotgunning to get your $5.99 or your $19.99. You see what I'm saying? Do that. Do that. Because if you're interested in those things, then that's what you should be doing. I have a few behind me someplace, but it is what it is. It is what it is. If you're interested, what about finding vitamin D without chlorophyll? Pure blood, Canadian. We have another Canadian. You should be in my Discord. I have a room just for Canadians. It's up there. Go there and find my Discord. That's a great question. And there's PhD and MD are not next to the name. They're not in my job title, so I could not answer that question. Let's see. We got here. I've been concerned about the power grids being targeted. We talked about that. Ace near me has a scale and refills your propane. Just I am. Good to see you, bro. Viking Queen. Question. I've been getting into the sprouts and eating them often. Would they be okay to store long term? You could probably see, the thing about sprouts is that their maximum nutrition level is when they're fully grown. Anything after that, once they get those leaves on them, they've begun to lose some of their nutritional value. Okay, and basically you're making lettuce at that point. It's just leafy water. So MD means Mr. Richard. That's funny. But what the hell were we talking about? Oh yeah, sprouts. No, just keep growing and just keep eating them. I mean, I've got them in my windowsill right now. I eat them about every day, every other day. I keep them in the fridge. One of the things that I do to keep them fresh or keep them so that I know that they're okay is I'll take whatever batch I take out of a jar and I will wrap them in a paper towel and put them. It's almost like I'm rotating them in the fridge inside my container that I showed you guys. And then that way it's like, okay, that one there, oh, that one's no good. Toss it, grab the next one. Oh, that one's good. You know. But once again, now I don't know what kind of nutritional value would be left in them if you dehydrated them. You might get away with freeze drying them, but I don't know. I feel like that you're kind of taking away their superfood capabilities if you're not consuming them when they're fresh and raw. Hopefully that answers your question. Let's see. Storing the seeds, not the sprouts. Let's see here. I've lived here for 10 years. I got you. You guys are having I accidentally took 10,000 milligrams of B12. Worst headache. Oh, yeah, that'll do it. I live in Florida and was deficient vitamin D at my last checkup. That's crazy, Jan. I don't know. Well, there could be. There are vitamin and mineral deficiencies associated with women because of the way their bodies are. Iron is the biggest one, and if you've had children, they basically steal all the calcium out of your body. So you buy vitamins. Let's see here. No one survives nuclear warfare. I promise you that. That's interesting. That's interesting. What is your military occupational skill, Robert? What is your specific skill set that allows you to make such bold statements? I'm going to wait. Bubba Jones, good morning. What's up, Broseph? Semper Gummy. Just wrap them in a wet paper towel and put them in the fridge. Yeah, everybody's got a different way of doing it, but I've noticed that when you've got sprouts that go bad, they really go bad fast. It's like bleh, they stink and they're just bad. And I try to keep them separated from the other ones. I've also noticed that they stay once you get them in the fridge, they stop growing. They stop doing what they're going to do that will turn them bad. I work for a company that makes I don't know what that makes them. You work for a company that makes nuclear weapons? That's interesting. How often do you have to take your iodine? I'm curious now. Joined your Discord. Thanks for letting me know. Pure Blood Canadian. Where are you at, Pure Blood Canadian? Pure Blood Canadian. Is that you? Is that you? Drazed Kitten? Is that you? What's ending in 14 days? This live stream, it will cease to exist in 14 days. Gotcha. I'm putting you in the Canada group right now. Maple Leaves. I called it something else earlier and Star got on me. Where are we at here? I need to go to you. General chats. And Dresden. And we're going to put you in the... I need to create like a special group for just Canadians. Add member. There we go. And... Damn, what was your name again? Shit. Dazed Kitten. There we go. And Maple Leaves. Add... No, it's Dazed. Why is this not working? Dazed. This is really irritating. I'll get you in there. I'll do it later. No, I Dazed in there. I got you. Southern states farm stores used to refill propane. Don't know if they do anymore. There you go. I haven't heard from southern states in a long time. Let's see here. Joined your Discord. I'm still waiting, Roberti Ikeo. Still waiting, Broseph. Because if you work with what you say you work with, then you have a schedule, and you'll be able to tell me that. All right, what do we got here? It is now 11 a.m. The live stream. There are some gas stations that can fill That's true. Just look for the big, huge propane tank. Yeah, that's a good way of doing it. Yeah, definitely. Okay, it is now what do we got here? Let's check the YouTube page one time. Catitude, no problem. Let's see. You need the sunlight to hit your eyes, not looking at the sun, but outdoors with outdoor sunglasses or tinted 10 minutes without sunscreen or vitamin D. Star. Ba-ching! I'm mixing you up with someone else. Then sorry, Janice. I thought it was you out of the state for a little while, taking care of your family. Okay, gotcha. Dehydrating takes like 50% of the nutrient, vitamin, minerals, etc. out of food. Very true. Very true, Window Liquor. Good to see you, Window Liquor. Let's see. Okay, so I think we're going to go ahead and call it. On the YouTube side, you know where to find me. Patreons. I shall see you guys tonight at 7:30 p.m. during the live call. I got to go to the store and get me a big yellow can of something to drink. And, yeah, we're going to see you guys then. 22, you in there right now? Hope you guys have a great day. And we'll see you when we see you. Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching, and I hope you decide to support the page. If you like what I'm doing, go ahead and hit the link below. If it didn't take you directly to it, you can just hit the support page. That's what it should look like. All you have to do is either hit the Patreon symbol or the join button. Doesn't matter. Just hit it and that'll get you started. It's $3 a month for 30-ish days of work from me. The price of a Starbucks coffee. So until the next time, stay safe, have a great day, and I'll see you when I see you. Bye-bye.